I greet my viewers who know a liberal message from the outstanding Californian politologists like Marilyn McNaughton. Today I want to discuss certain political issues with, Morocco, Californian coasts. And actually, one of those issues is a notorious letter that's been published by California Governor Democrat Jerry Brown on pages of internet. Actually, I picked up from jerrybrown.org website where all those internet readers can actually check it out. The letter itself, it consists of 2 pages, but this proposal actually contains it's a very modest attempt to be fiscally responsible for a Californian governor, and actually the governor actually proposes a temporary tax increase, quote, on wealth, a modest and temporary increase in sales tax, and guaranteed with a new revenue be spent on education. Millionaires and high-income earners will pay up to 2% high income taxes for 5 years. No family making less than $500,000 a year will see their income tax rise. In fact, fewer than 2% of California taxpayers will be affected by this increase. And I believe this is actually, this is an outrage because from a liberal point of view, because so families making more than $100,000 being simply wealthy won't get any tax increase now whatsoever. This is outrageous. People who make more than $200,000 are wealthy. People who make more than $100,000 in liquid income are wealthy people, and definitely I haven't seen anybody who makes more than $30,000 when middle class kind of people who make more about $30,000. That's a middle class income. It's no more than that on a liquid individual annual income basis. And all those attempts on the right wingers, to mix together wealthy people and working class people are doomed to fail. I believe those politicians, Democrats, especially like conservative Democrats like Jerry Brown, won't be able to, fool people around with a miserable income increase of 2% high income tax. But actually, it's better than nothing, of course, from liberal point of view, to balance a budget with and enforce political social justice. It's rather good at 2%, but I believe Governor Jerry Brown shouldn't be that powerless and should actually charge about maybe 15% increase at least against wealthy individuals and rich corporations. And I promise when I get elected to California State Assembly, I definitely will introduce legislation to increase taxes against wealthy your corporations about 50%, so that we pay more than up to 50% if we make more than $250,000 a year, of course. So this proposal around miserable input, of California Democrat Jerry Brown, the governor of California, into into a political fiscal responsibility. And actually, I quite go along with a temporary 1 cent increase in the sales tax. But it says the initiative will dedicate funding only to education and public safety, not on our problem, but simply cannot afford. But actually, kind of mean-spirited rhetorics. I understand this Governor Jerry Brown wants to say that he can afford, being honest and fair towards people, working class people, and cannot afford, increasing taxes to balance our budget. So it doesn't make him a good Democrat. It makes him a bad Democrat. It makes him a conservative Democrat. It makes him reactionary. But he doesn't want to simply doesn't want to increase income taxes against the wealthy, make $100,000 on annual basis of liquid income. Well, actually, I believe that increases in taxes will bring more stability, political, social justice against the wealthy. But that California governor, Jerry Brown would look redneck to me lately. He's been red-faced, like he was abusing alcohol, heavy liquor, hard liquor, in large amounts, And actually, it looks like that guy was actually, unfortunately, doesn't want to raise taxes more 2%. But real tax increase will come when only liberal Democrats will get elected to California State Assembly and will increase was taxes of wealthy individuals and rich corporations like oil and gasoline manufacturing corporations for about 50%. Well, actually, but it's a move in the right direction. What can I say? It's so far it's a move in the right direction. I believe 64% of what Californians will definitely vote for increasing taxes, as was actually stated by recent issue on internet issue of Los Angeles Times, where they actually quoted some recent Gallup poll, and says that 61% of Californians stand behind the governor's Democrat Jerry Brown decision to increase taxes 2% against wealthy individuals who make over $500,000. And I believe people making more than $100,000 are wealthy, because middle class make only about $30,000 per individual annual basis, no more than that, from $30,000 to $50,000 maybe. But people who make more than $100,000 are wealthy, and sometimes per right-wing press tells many fanciful lies because in the vain attempt to presume that the public is gullible. Public is not gullible. Public is skeptical, and no matter how much lies, fanciful lies about that, chauvinistic lies about how much money most people make without no quoting their incomes, and how much fanciful lies comes. People sometimes make way less, and I believe that most people who listen won't be gullible, or simply will be skeptical of impudent lies with right-wingers. Almost a major national news stations like MSNBC or CBS or ABC or NBC or Fox News or Fox, and the rest of them. But now I want to return to another question. Recent news that some deranged gunman, Mr. Brem or something, shot 40-year-old and killed a 40-year-old Hollywood industry executive, Mr. Edmond, according to Los Angeles Times. Well, actually, in addition, it was outrageous because it just gives another view that the government didn't want to leave it to mafia hitmen. I believe it actually was hired hit, We use suicidal terrorists, most likely, as the guy told the cops he didn't want to be taken alive. And actually, so they had to shoot him dead. And, well, actually, just gives another insight in the problem of it, mental illness in America, and well, actually, access to gun control, and how come that mentally person got laid his hand on a firearms, and then that person shot and killed innocent people, and it means that gun control laws should be actually improved. Gun control violation, gun control legislation should be improved in order to avoid violating gun control laws, and to keep firearms out of hands of mentally ill people who would likely to hurt and kill or wound fellow competitors, who made them no harm. And actually, this is actually calls for legislation, for California state legislation, to check out those laws to give to increase gun control and in order to avoid firearms from getting into the hands of mentally ill people and into the hands of ex-felons as well. Because there is some laws like 2 weeks cool-off period before gun applicant can actually receive a weapon that person paid for, and also check with local state the Department of Justice, which actually would verify a person's crime-free record or something like that, and it actually supposed to keep firearms out of hands of criminal perpetrators and terrorists who are likely to kill innocent people. And I believe that those gun control laws should be reinforced by adding those certain titles that allow that close down the loophole of those illegal fairs, gun shows, where was traders sell weapons to highest bid without checking it from with local Department of Justice and without getting permission to do that. So I believe that Governor Jerry Brown should order close down all those gun sales during at those gun shows and gun fairs, and make control, verify every single gun shop in order to make sure that nobody sells weapons to unauthorized persons without checking the person's eligibility to buy firearms. To get the permission of California Department of Justice, U.S. Department of Justice as well. Make a conclusion so that whenever I get elected representative, I promise to reinforce gun safety laws and to make state government cooperate with the federal government and include a provision that would allow California State Department of California Department of Justice to get make inquiries for every single gun buying applicant, with the U.S. Department of Justice, to verify if a person has any felonious records or any wanted terrorists, and or fugitive from law, and therefore that way we actually will eliminate any loopholes in the gun control laws. And I also wanted very much to contribute to aviation safety. As we know, some airplanes were aware of those planes cabins, and because compression, decompression of those planes in the high altitudes. So therefore, I believe that there should be some laws that enable state government, to regulate aviation industry in terms of writing off and remove all those old planes from action, so that state regulators would come and write off every single plane that has exhibited technical malfunction or had a cabin with larger cracks, and that way aviation safety would be reinforced, and was aviation exploitation companies, private industry, would be able to function properly, because without many lawsuits, because if the companies have some crashes and people sue them for their deceased relatives, and the place was taught, on those aviation aviation carriers, aviation companies. Well, actually, those companies will lose their business and lose their investors, lose their capitals. They will be out of business. Therefore, state government should actually enforce aviation safety laws, and should also make sure that every seat has complete parachutes. So during any malfunctioning or some air trouble, or trouble with air, or loss of engine power, passenger would be able to bail out of plane safely using using the compact parachutes and to save their lives, during an air catastrophe in the air, by any reason. And I also believe that Sagan should also install about a couple stun guns in the cabins of pilots, so whenever fighting breaks out among passengers, when any troubles goes in the air or terrorist attack, so that pilots and air hostesses would be able to use stun gun on hooligans or terrorists, whichever comes first. Well, actually, and so therefore, efficiency is very paramount to the industry and to the safety of people and to national security of this nation. And I believe that state government should actually, state legislation should make sure that with some aviation safety laws, where they actually will beat aviation terrorism and there's a criminal negligence on part of aviation carriers who actually don't write off old cabins, airplane cabins, old engines, run out engines on time, and cause catastrophes and cause people to lose their lives, during in the air catastrophes out of negligence of corporate masters. Also, I want to very much discuss the issue of President Obama being elected. As a Liberal Democrat, of course, I believe that my prediction is President Obama will easily beat Republicans in any possible way, as the strongest candidate, former U.S. House of Representatives, conservative Republican Newt Gingrich, who actually managed to steal welfare from American children during his 90s so-called Republican Revolution, a Republican takeover of Congress in the mid-90s. So that Newt Gingrich actually has only 45%, according to national polls, at nationalpolls.com website. You can go there and check it out at nationalpolls.com. I now say Gingrich has only 35% as average, and average rating of popularity of the U.S. president, key primary states, average is nationwide is 44%. So that President Obama is likely to beat Newt Gingrich in the next election, my prediction would be, but later on he might suffer the fate of convicted Illinois governor, corrupt Illinois governor Rod Blagojevich, who actually sold the seat of President Obama for $23,000 to so-called Mr. Burris, who actually was never elected by Illinois people, and actually was illegally appointed to be a senator, which is outrageous, and I never saw any kind of violation of democracy like that go unpunished in the United States, because there is lawlessness perpetrated by Rod Blagojevich, who was sentenced, was convicted, was impeached and convicted in Illinois Senate, and was actually sentenced to 14 years in prison for extortion, racketeering charges. Extortion, racketeering, and persecution of journalists who tried to criticize him, tried to get journalists who criticized him fired from Chicago Tribune, and actually, I know actually caused any damage or not, but quite a mean guy. Dr. Blagojevich was, and got what he deserved. For 14 years, harsh sentence. Though they say it will be 10 years only 10 years only probation, but I believe he should start serving right away. And actually, I don't know how much true some journalists say, but I haven't verified that information. And I also believe that President Obama should raise this against wealthy individuals, so rich corporations make more than $100,000, those rich individuals. I determined in order to actually eliminate budget deficit, replenish budget, but if President Obama doesn't do that, he would be good Democrat. He would be a kind of reactionary person. He would be a neo-fascist. Actually, unlike President Obama, who actually raised taxes against the wealthy and managed to eliminate budget deficit. Those wealthy people who Republicans call job creators are not job creators. They are thieves and robbers who actually rip off economy. And they made their fortunes because they inherited the big money, the old money from slave owners, from wealthy industrialists who ripping off working poor for ages. And all there is not no honor in being wealthy. It's just a disgrace. And because of wealthy people, we just rip off poor people and steal money from investors. They rip off investors, rip off working class people, and they bribe politicians. But unfortunately, such kind of system will end up in revolution. American revolution will oust corrupt officials and restore dignity to working class people. As an investor, I lost $10,000 in life savings, and I charged me $50,000 of taxes, which actually I believe erroneous and false claim, and I'm gonna sue the revenue service and revoke this lien, I guess, because $55,000 is the loss can be taken on every trade I made, and as I have form 1024, IRS form 1024, we actually itemizes every single trade, stock trade we've done, and it says loss can be taken on every single trade. So we cannot actually charge me any lien whatsoever. So I demand that IRS cancel my lien as fraudulent, and I believe that this is outrageous. This government is very crooked and corrupt. If it tries to, to put false liens against poor investors who got even robbed by greedy corporate sharks who actually declared false bankruptcy, not to pay investors any money back, any dividends or whatsoever. So therefore, I believe that actually President Obama should declare amnesty for working class people, for non-criminal illegal aliens, amnesty for ex-felons who managed to lead a law-abiding way of life for at least the last 5 years. And President Obama should do all that, I believe, it should establish living wage. Because unless those politicians like President Obama establish living minimum wage, at least $10 an hour, and conduct amnesty policy, but human rights of Americans will be trampled upon, and there will be no prosperity, because as President understands, President Obama understands that, it's about us, not about him, like he used to say. So therefore, President Obama should actually do something to conduct liberal politics. And I believe that raising taxes 1% is a miserable, miserable dole, drop in the bucket, it's too little on part of a democratic majority of the U.S. Senate. That constitutes about half of all Senate votes, about 50 seats. The Democrats control, and I believe the Democratic Party will actually beat the Republican next year. As I watch was National Obama polls at nationalpoll.com website. And it says nationwide, President Obama beats leading Republican presidential candidate Newt Gingrich, a conservative Republican, with some significant leads about most of the states nationwide. For instance, he beats him in those NBC, Wall Street Journal, or Pew Research Center, or Gallup poll by single-digit lead, but yet most of them, President Obama looks pretty good in those election polls. And I hope that President Obama will persuade Congress members to pass tax cut to working class families, payroll reduction tax cut, without connecting it to our issues, as Republicans want to build a Keystone actual project from to pipeline project in order to transport oil from Canada to Alabama. But I believe, and they claim that there would be lots of jobs for working class people if we build that oil pipeline from Canada, Keystone XL or something. But I believe there will be very few jobs for American in this project, but instead we'll encounter gross pollution as well as pipeline leak, and all the oil will go only to China, will be exported, and people will defraud, and many people will lose their jobs, as railroads will lose their jobs, and tankers, people work on tankers, oil tankers will lose their jobs, as well as you cannot actually, and there will be lots of fraud, as pipeline streamed oil actually is subject to manipulations, machinations, and fraudulent operations, and it is much more safer, and more accountable to transport oil by railroad, transport oil in oil tankers by sea. And I believe that oil pipeline is a very bad idea, because pollute environment big time, and it's unreliable, and will make lots of Americans lose their jobs, and will make the life of many people unbearable in the United States. And I believe it's building a moratorium on building any single gas line, or no gas line, but building oil pipelines at all. And there should be significant environmental laws in order to protect American consumers from pollution. Because as MSNBC liberal host Rachel Maddow once showed, people demonstrating, barreled water in a barrel, a 5-gallon barrel, go fiery, go up in flames, while being ignited. It's water from some local community where actually oil and gas exploration started, and it was horrible, because actually those people would definitely die from methane poisoning. And I believe that federal government and the Environmental Protection Agency should take most stringent and most effective measures, emergency measures, to to punish those polluters, take them in court and prohibit where actually prohibit any potential pollution, prohibit any pollution of those oil producing gasoline manufacturing companies, but actually neglect safety and do so-called fracking, or fracturing layers of granite or slabs with non-watery components, but actually should be prohibited for federal legislation. Should make those gas producer oil producer companies to use only water, only clean water, to do fracturing, but not non-water components, because they produce lots of pollution, and actually fracturing should be limited, and companies should be held responsible. Those gasoline oil produce companies should be held responsible for their misdeeds, and should be taken to court and prohibited any further business activities, and if they refuse to clean up the act and to fully cooperate with environmental agencies, or do self-serving those environmental protection measures. And I also believe that also my viewers will vote for Democrats, and because Democrats, actually Progressive Party, will serve the interests of working class people, or intellectuals, and I hope the Democratic Party will get rid of those corrupt old guys like Barney Frank, who actually survived 30 years, and actually most reactionary one who opposed even criticizing politicians, who opposed actually narcotics laws, who opposed strict laws against narcotics, and I believe that Democrats will be able to bring more viable candidates, and will unseat incumbents, hopefully, who actually are very corrupt and under the influence of organized crime and imperialist circles. And I hopefully American Revolution will win, and I said American Revolution is about ousting corrupt officials and enforcing technological environmental protection and promoting technological revolution. And hopefully we'll live in a society where manual labor will be defunct, and all those manual labor jobs, monotonous assembly work will be done only by industrial robots. So hopefully I believe my viewers will actually be welcome to give me feedbacks, and write to my website, with me email armenak.nurijanyan@yahoo.com, or actually freeliberal@offering.com, or call my cellular number 323-445-1600 and leave my feedback and comments about my broadcasting, internet broadcasting, and also call my home phone number 323-735-3863 and leave a feedback and comments, mostly in a civilized or cultural manner, because I will definitely discard any other rude remarks or attempts to harass me, or kind of uncouth statements, Ruffians or neo-fascists, who just only engage in hate mongering, and will try to bust, any hate mongering when it comes my way. So always all civilized remarks are welcome.